Perhaps one of the most important yet misunderstood parts of any forklift training program is the engineering principles. Unless you have this knowledge, it's difficult to understand some of the safety rules relating to forklift operations, and certainly detracts from your ability to make good judgments when lifting odd-sized and difficult loads. This program focuses on some basic principles, but they're a very necessary part of professional forklift training and operations. Let's begin with the lever principle, specifically the fulcrum principle. Simply stated, you have two weights balanced on a fulcrum, like a playground seesaw. On the forklift, one weight is the heavy rear end or counterweight. The fulcrum is your front tires, and the other weight is the load you're carrying. The counterweight balances the load with the front tires as the fulcrum point. The next point is the information contained on the data plate, which is generally located on the front panel of your forklift. This information is developed by the forklift manufacturer. The data plate gives you the make, model, and serial number of the equipment. It also states exactly how much weight can be safely lifted, and generally states the lifting capacity in 3 different classifications, such as 24-inch load centers, 36-inch load centers, and 42-inch load centers. It also specifies how high the load can be lifted. Now, before we explain what all this means, let's explain this load center. The load center of a forklift is the distance measured from the center of the load to the vertical face of the forks. If you have a standard-sized pallet, it's 48 inches by 48 inches. If you have an evenly distributed load on this size pallet, you have a 24-inch load center. If you have an evenly distributed load on a longer-sized pallet, you no longer have a 24-inch load center. Let's go back to the data plate and those 3 different lifting capacities. One capacity is 5,000 pounds at a 24-inch load center that can be safely lifted to a height of 104 inches. Keep in mind, all safe lifting capacities are based upon the load center and the mast being raised in a vertical or straight position. If you tilt the mast forward when lifting, what are you doing to the load center? You're extending the load center and reducing your safe lifting capacity. When lifting anything, think about the load center of the load, the mast position, and the weight.